What's up everyone, Danny Lightning back with another War Robots video. So this is going to be my 2024 Titan guide and my 2024 Titan module guide. So we're going to go over the Titans and the Titan modules in this video. And this is going to be great for paid players, free players, and everybody in between. So until a new Titan comes out or until they do a major rebalance, this is the Titan guide for 2024. And the Titan module guide too. I'm going to try and keep this as short and sweet and to the point as possible because we don't want this to be a 12-hour long video. So I'm not going to go into depth about this stuff, but I'm going to give you my quick opinion on everything and let you know what's good, what's not, and what you should probably be looking to get. When we get to an item that you can buy with your game resources, which is great for a free-to-play player that you can get easily, I'll go ahead and point that out during the review of that item. So we're going to go over all the Titans. I'll make a couple of different chapters on this video, and we're going to go over the best free and paid modules for your Titans as well. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off with the first Titan, which is the Kid. This is basically your basic starter Titan. It's got a lot of flaws. It's not really that great. One of the main problems is the big main weapon is only available during the ability. And when you're not in the ability, you've only got those two little weapons on the side. And that is a major flaw. It's not as durable as a lot of Titans. This one is just basic and not that great. And remember, this is coming from somebody who is in Champion League. So this is what it's like in Champion League. Of course, the Kid's great if you're a brand new player and you're in the lower leagues. But once you move up to Champion or the higher leagues, you're going to have to replace that thing. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. And if you happen to buy something over at the War Robots web shop, there's a link in the video's description. But on checkout, use author code DannyLightning. That'll help support my channel and you might get some cheaper prices over there as well. Alright, so next is the Arthur. Arthur is a very cool robot. It's another starter robot. It's not great, okay? Arthur is not great. It's got a big, huge, durable shield, but there's Titan flamethrowers that can go right through his shield, or there's certain weapons that can just kind of bypass it, and that gives him a really big problem. Now, Arthur is definitely much better than the Kid Titan, but it's not a Titan that I would put my resources into. I just wouldn't buy this one. Alright, so next we have the Heimdall. I think this is a good Titan. I think this is a fun Titan. And if you play it really well, you can do great. But a lot of people don't really seem to like this. Most of the people I know do not want to play the Heimdall. They all think it sucks. I don't think it's that bad, but it's definitely a robot that takes some skill to play. You really got to do this thing right and get used to it. So I don't think this Titan is for everybody. So I'm going to say you probably shouldn't buy this one. But if you do, you may or may not like it. Next, we have the Ather, which I would say is a decent Titan. I do like this. It's very fun to play. I think it definitely does best with the Lance and Glaive weapons. If I put any other weapons on this, I just don't like playing it. But I think this is a decent Titan. It's fun. It's pretty good. It's got some big advantages. It has a laser beam that shoots down. Like if you're trying to shoot the new Bedwyr Titan, if you can get up over top of him, this thing flies and it shoots that laser beam down under his shield and it can't hit him. So this does have some major advantages, but it's not as good as some of the other Titans. So it's still not going to be my number one recommendation, but I really do like this one. Next, we have the Eifel, which is probably the best Titan in the game right now. I do think it works best with the bendy bullet weapons. I played it with a bunch of other stuff. It works great with the flamethrowers. Any good set of weapons that has nice range will work on this, but the bendy bullets are where it's at. If you have this thing and the bendy bullets, you're going to tear some people up if you play it right. But it's just an all-around really good Titan. If you can get this one, I think you definitely should. This is the best Titan in the game right now, in my opinion, for Champion League players. Alright, so next we have the Indra. You can save up your resources and you can buy this one with Platinum. The Indra is actually really good. If you build this thing correctly and get the right modules on it and do everything right and learn how to time the abilities, this Titan will tear some people up. You can get this as a free-to-play player, so this is a really good Titan. I love the Indra. It's not as easy to play as some of the other Titans, but man, if you get the hang of this thing, it will tear some people to shreds. So I think Indra is top-notch, excellent. It's not the best Titan in the game, but it's definitely one of the best in my current opinion, in this current time and date and time frame and whatever. So yeah, you know what I mean. Let's move on. Alright, so next we have the Luchador. You can buy this one with your resources, so free-to-play players can save up and get this. And this is probably one of the top 3 or top 4 Titans in the game. If you build this thing correctly, And once we get to the modules, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But module choices are very important on the Titans these days to make them crazy durable. But the Luchador is just super good. If you like brawling and you can get the right stuff to build this thing up and make it crazy strong, this is just a excellent Titan, and you should probably get this one if you don't already have a good Titan and you're looking for a new Titan. This might be the one to get right now. Next, we have the Rook, and in my opinion, the Rook is still in the top 5. The only problem with Rook is those new Titan flamethrowers or those ice rocket weapons can bypass his shield, but if you build this thing correctly, it's a monster. It's still definitely in the top 5 of the best Titans in the game right now. I really still like the Rook a lot, so it's definitely worth playing if you have it. And you know, if you happen to get one, it's probably worth upgrading. I think Rook is top notch. Next, we have the Minos. It is unbelievably fun to play, and this robot is super good. Only thing with the Minos is it relies heavily on knowing when to use the ability to rush in and when to save it and use the ability to get out. So this thing really relies on abilities, right? You gotta really know what you're doing when you're using the ability on this thing, or you're gonna get crushed. It's not an easy Titan to play, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite amazing. You can buy this one with your resources, so this is a good Titan for free-to-play players if you like crazy, squishy, run-around brawling robots. When this robot puts up its reflector shield, anybody who shoots it, it reflects damage back to them, and it reflects a lot. I mean, like the Luchador has a shield like that, but you can shoot it all day long and not have to worry about it. But if you shoot this thing's shield, it'll tear you up. You do not want to shoot this thing when the shield goes up. So yeah, if you know how to use this thing, it is a pure beast. And like I said, a free-to-play player can get this with their resources, but it is kind of hard to play. Next, we have the Serius, which is a really good Titan that not everybody likes. It's big, it gets stuck on things, it has a hard time moving through certain maps because it's so huge and wide, so it's not actually the ideal choice, but some of us really like it. It's fun to play, it's actually really good, it's somewhat durable, it's a nice Titan, but I don't think this Titan is for everybody. You know, it's got healing and damage abilities, but it's just kind of, I would say probably don't get it because most people don't seem to like it, but some do. So this one's great, but not for everybody. Alright, so next we have the Newton. This was one of the top Titans, but as of right now, they just rebalanced this thing and changed some of the stuff that worked well with it, and pretty much everybody that runs this has taken it out of their hangar, except for the people who don't have anything else to play, and most of them are kind of unhappy, so I'm going to say Newton, probably not your best choice at the moment. I would skip this one. Next, we have the Nodens. This is one a free-to-play player can get pretty easily. It's actually quite good if healing is your thing, but it's very boring to play. You don't want to fight with it. You want to stand in the back and just heal people and stay behind cover. You don't want to go out there and fight at all unless somebody charges you. So I don't think this is a great Titan, but it's good for keeping your teammates alive. It's just kind of like it's kind of hit and miss on who likes or dislikes this Titan. It's a really good Titan, but it's definitely not for everybody. So I would say be careful buying this one. You might love it, or you might hate it, or you might be bored to death trying to play this. There's definitely a lot of Titans that are better. I do personally really like this one, but I don't play it often myself because it's not as fun as a lot of the other Titans. Next, we have the Ming, and as much as I like this Titan, I don't like it just as much because it's very squishy, it dies very easy, and most of the time it just gets shot out of the sky before you can do much with it, so I really don't suggest an Ming. They're not that great. The firepower is amazing, and if the right person plays it, it can be okay, but most people struggle to keep this thing alive, and it just dies as soon as they get it up in the air, so I don't think this is a good choice at the moment. Next, we have the Sharang. This is not something I recommend because some people love it, most people don't. It's got a lot of firepower, it's kind of squishy, it's just kind of it's a boring Titan that dies very easily, so it's really not for everybody. I mean, the main thing about this is the firepower. It's got 3 heavy slots, which is really good, but it does have one ability that people misuse constantly, where you kind of phase shift your enemies, and you'll be like one of your teammates will be ready just to take somebody down, and somebody in a Sharang will hit it and phase shift it, and then the teammate won't be able to kill it, and then they run out of ammo, and that thing comes out of the phase shift, it hits its heal, it gets back to full health, and then it kills the teammate. I've seen that many times. People misuse this ability and screw up their team, so I don't really suggest this one for your average player. You got to be really good with this thing, or you're just going to do probably more harm than good with it, honestly. Next, we have the Pyramids, and I would highly recommend this, except for it has one major flaw. When this Titan goes up in the air, it has stealth, but when it comes down to land, the stealth goes away, and it almost always gets shot out of the air the first or second time you start to land, unless you're super lucky. So this robot is constantly being shot out of the air, and yeah, it's not that great at the moment, only because of that reason. If it wasn't for that, if it still had stealth on landing, this thing would be great, but as of right now, it's constantly being shot out of the air and killed really fast, so I do not recommend this robot at the moment. So right now, I would say the best ones are going to be Indra, Luchador, Rook, Mr. Minos, and then we're going to save the new one for last. And finally, we have the Bedwyr Titan, which is the brand new one that just came out, and this one is actually quite good. I think this is more of a support, and this is kind of like a support brawler. You can use that shield to save yourself and save your teammates. I think if you play this thing correctly, it's really good, but most people seem to prefer the Eifel over this Titan. Honestly, I think most people probably aren't playing this right, the ones that don't like it, because it's really darn good. I mean, this thing is extremely good. It's probably not as good as the Eifel, but I like this Titan. I mean, I can play this with pretty much any weapon in the game and be happy with it. It's just a really nice all-around Titan that's really easy to play. So I would actually say the Eifel is probably the best Titan, and the Bedwyr is probably the second best, and then we have Luchador coming in third. Then after that, you're kind of going to be like, well, do I want an Indra or do I want a Minos? So those are kind of the Titans in the order of best to worst or whatever. Not really best to worst, but well, yeah, let's move on to the Titan modules. All right, so now we're going to talk about Titan modules, and we're going to start off with the elephant in the room. The broken Titan repair amplifiers that seem to charge up with the new Avalon mothership and make invincible Titans. If you can run 4 of these, once they get to full stacks, your Titan becomes almost invincible. And then if you start dropping that new Avalon mothership on your Titan, it somehow works together with these and pretty much does make the Titans invincible. I don't know how many times I've been into a game and there's like 6 or 12 Titans on the battlefield and nobody can kill each other, and you end up with 20, 30, 40 million damage. Not kidding. It's because the mix of these modules and that mothership going crazy. So at the moment, you either want to have at least 2 or 3 or 4 of these things, and they all stack up together. I don't think they're supposed to. I don't think these modules are working properly right now, but it is a crazy deal what's going on with these in the new mothership at the moment. So these are actually the #1 module. You want to run as many of these as you possibly can if your thing is going for the durable, almost invincible Titan. So yeah, we're going to save the best for first. So yeah, the Titan repair amplifiers, top notch. Must-haves, you gotta get those. Next, we have the Onslaught Reactors. These are my favorite damage modules. So if you're looking to do nice damage to regular robots and Titans, this is it. These are great. I love these things for pure damage. Next, we have a self-fix unit. These things will very slowly heal your Titan. They don't really help you much in battle, but if you go back behind cover, they will slowly repair you. In my opinion, these are just kind of okay. Not something I'd really use on any of my Titans 90% of the time. Next, we have the Grand Balance unit. This will give you 16% durability and 16% damage. So this is a really good module to get damage and durability. I absolutely love the Grand Balance Reactor. These things are awesome. Next, we have the Damage Controller. So this is a really interesting deal. It kind of heals up, or it makes so you take less gray damage, and it gives you a bunch of durability. And a lot of people absolutely love these modules. I don't really play them. I don't like them personally. I don't run these on anything except for every once in a while you might see me put on like 3 repair amps and 1 of these. But for the most part, these don't really fit my style. But a lot of people actually love these. So for most people, these are a great module to get. They're just not for me. Next, we have the basic plated armor kits. Anybody can get these. They're not great. I don't think I would dump any resources into them at all. just leave them set and move on until you get something better. The Titan anti-controls, these are something you can buy with your resources. So these are probably the absolute best module for free-to-play players right here. If you can run 2 or 3 or 4 of these, they give you durability. You can run, I think, 2 of these completely maxed out. You're immune to lock, suppression, and freeze forever. You'll never get locked down, you'll never get suppressed, and you'll never get frozen. And they give you 16% extra durability, which is awesome. Now, if you only run one of them, if you only have one of them, or if they're both not maxed out, you will still get locked down, frozen durability, but it'll kind of like take it off once and then there's a cooldown. But when you max out 2, yeah, things change and you will never be locked or froze or any of that junk. But you'll still get like blinded and all that stuff. It doesn't protect you against everything, just like some of the original negative effects. But these are really, really, really good if you're a free-to-play player. Next, we have Titan Accelerators. These are great if you want to move a little faster, but the only problem is you're going to be sacrificing damage or durability to get a little bit of extra speed. In my opinion, most Titans don't need extra speed. It's nice. There are some Titans like the Bedwyr, it's kind of fun to run these on. The Heimdall is kind of fun, but I don't think these would be my top choice. I'd rather have damage or durability over a little bit of speed, but these are actually very nice modules if you're looking to make your Titan faster. Next, we have the Antimatter Reactor. Nothing special, it's just a basic module. It's one of those deals where I wouldn't put any resources into it. Just if you got one, you know, throw it on there, use it until you get something better, but I don't think I would really upgrade it. Next, we have the Canibal Reactor, and this is one you can buy with your resources. You can save up your platinum and get this, and this will do 40% more damage to Titans only. So this won't make you do more damage to regular robots, but it will make you do damage to Titans. So if you can get those anti-control modules and these Canibal Reactors, those are the two best free-to-play modules out there. If you're free to play, those are the 2 you want to go for. You probably want to get like 2 or 3 of those anti-controls and at least 1 or 2 of these Canibal Reactors right here. And that should be good to go. I mean, the rest of the stuff you can get as a free to play player that you can actually buy with the game resources kind of suck, but those 2 modules are actually pretty good. Alright, so I guess the last module is the Quantum Sensor. I don't really like these. They allow you to see stuff in stealth. They have a 350 meter range, I do believe. And that's when you max them out. So in order to get more than a 350 meter range, you would have to run 2 of these. If you run 2 of these, you're going to be able to see robots in stealth up to 600 meters. If you run 3, it's like 950 meters, which is pretty crazy. But I don't want to sacrifice durability or damage just to be able to see something in stealth. So I don't personally like these. But there are people out there that absolutely love them. And sometimes they do come in very handy when there's a stealth meta going around. But these are ones that I think are kind of like seasonal. When there's a lot of stealth on the battlefield, if there's stealth robots everywhere because the current meta is stealth, these might actually be worth running. But the current meta is not always stealth, which is kind of an issue here. But yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the modules in the Titans. Hopefully you found this helpful. I'm trying to do this really fast so the video doesn't take 3 hours. I mean, I could go in depth with this, but the video would be 3 hours long and nobody wants to sit there for 3 hours. So we're just trying to go over the basics and let you know what's good, what's worth getting, what's really good, what's decent, you know, just the basic stuff. So I think that's going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge shout out to my channel members. Thank you guys so much for the extra support. If you want to become one, just click the little join button right below the video. If you drop down the video's description, you'll see my Discord server, my other YouTube channels, some affiliate links to get some cool lighting, cameras, microphones, and everyday awesome items, plus a bunch of other stuff and some ways to help support the channel. So drop that down, check that out, and we will catch you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Lightning out. See ya.